So this is how you get started with the fat quarter shuffle pattern. I've got 6 fat quarters here. I just pulled these out for demonstration. I've got group A and I've got group B. And each group has a mixture of lights and darks. Hang on, let me get my pattern. So you don't put all the lights in one pile and all the darks in another pile. You just mix up some lights on one pile and mix up some lights on the other pile. All right, so we're going to take one fat quarter from group A. On your pattern that's shown in kind of the orangey red color, you're going to press yours. I'm not going to press mine because I'm not actually going to be cutting. So we're going to spread it out flat. Okay, this is the wider part. This is the 21. This is the 18. So fat quarters aren't quite a square. They're a rectangle. So you need the long way going this way until you catch on to how to cut it. So group A, you're going to start out cutting 6.5 inch wide strip. Then you're going to cut a 3.5 inch strip. And then you're going to cut 3 2.5s. 2.5, 2.5, 2.5. So you'll cut 6.5, 3.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5. And you'll have a little tiny dab left over. It won't be anything you can do anything with. So you'll put your ruler. I've got a 6, oh, that's a 6 inch ruler. Let me grab a 6.5. Well, my 6.5's in the other room. So and that's good. I'll just show you what I do. I have this 6 inch ruler, but I need 6.5, and I need to cut 6.5 across here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my fabric and I'm going to fold it in half that way. This is the 18 and now this is like 11, and I'm going to turn it sideways. So now I can cut 6.5, 3.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5. Except I think I did it backwards. Well, it doesn't matter. Anyway, I hope that helps to clear it up, how to cut it. I'm going to go over it one more time. Actually, I'm not. Since it's a video, you can go back and watch it again. So once you get all, you're going to cut all of your fat quarters in group A like that. 6.5, 3.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5. And you're going to make you 3 piles like that. A 6.5 pile, a 3.5 pile, and a 2.5 pile. Okay? So you'll do that for all your fat quarters in group A. Then you're going to take your fat quarters in group B and you're going to spread them out the same way and press them so that you get rid of those folds, because that makes a difference in your cutting accuracy. All right, so we've still got the 21 this way and the 18 this way. We're going to cut it into 2 4.5, so 4.5, 4.5, 3.5, and then a 2.5 and another 2.5. Now the other 2.5 is going to be an extra one, which you will probably just put in with all your 2.5s. So you've got your 6.5, 3.5, 2.5 from the first one. Now you're going to add in a 4.5. So you'll make you a pile of each different size, and then you bring all of that to class, and we will put them in groups together, put them in strip sets, and start stitching and cutting our blocks out. But that's all. Don't overthink it. It's not meant to be super complicated. And if you're still having trouble with figuring out how to cut it, just bring them to class and we'll work on it together. I hope this helps.